The current curriculum of the public school system has become focused solely on the ability of students to be able to memorize strategies and do well on school and statewide tests. This way of developing curriculum is not beneficial for the student, nor does it give the teacher any leeway in the way that they run their classroom. There is a responsibility of teachers to prepare students for the future and not simply for the tests that they will take. The nature of the content of the curriculum of public schools should be relevant for each student to be able to learn, no matter their background, focused on developing essential critical thinking skills, and broad enough to allow for individual instruction for each student. The idea of culturally relevant teaching is extremely important because it allows for learning for every single student in which they are able to embrace where they have come from. Gloria Ladson Billings says that culturally relevant teaching requires the students maintain some cultural integrity as well as academic excellence. When students are able to connect personally with the things that they are learning, whether that be through their culture or experiences, they are able to be better engaged within the classroom. The way the curriculum has been created has not left any room for this within the classroom, which forces teachers to stray from the curriculum and do these things in addition if they want their classroom to be culturally relevant. Billings also speaks of teachers where if the state curriculum framework called for teaching about the age of exploration, they use this as an opportunity to examine conventional interpretations and introduce alternate ones. The content of the curriculum was always open to critical analysis. This is the way that many teachers have had to adapt because of the lack of representation for certain cultures within the curriculum. In order for classrooms to be successfully relevant to all students, the curriculum must reflect the acceptance and respect of cultures and give teachers room to adjust according to their students. Critical thinking is also essential for each and every child and adult to learn, and it is a skill that is often overlooked within the curriculum of public schools. Schools are extremely focused on having students memorize strategies and be able to replicate those strategies. Students are not truly learning the concepts if they do not understand the true ideas behind them. William Ayers says that schooling fosters dependence, passivity, and dullness. In fact, many normal, discerning students wondering what kind of intelligence will be rewarded in school conclude that being quiet, dull, and invisible is the dominant expectation and act accordingly. The kind of curriculum that is taught in our schools today instills this idea that students are not to be inquisitive or creative, but to sit quiet and to do what they are asked. This does not prepare students for the future and makes for a very boring classroom. Refusing to acknowledge critical thinking skills also creates an environment as well where students are unable to connect with the material because what is being taught is not applicable to the real world. Paulo Freire explains that narration with the teacher as narrator leads the students to memorize mechanically the narrated content. When the material is being memorized and none of it is being related to real world problems, then students are ill prepared for their future in higher education or a career where critical thinking skills are extremely important. The curriculum of public schools should include many more problems that are applicable to real life situations and less that simply prepare for standardized tests. The idea of the curriculum of public schools being broadened as the same education is not best for everyone. Individual instruction is so important for so many students, because no two students are alike. Freire says that a teacher expounds on a topic completely alien to the existential experience of the students. His task is to fill the students with the contents which are detached from reality, disconnected from the totality that endangered them and could give them significance. When students are detached from the things they are learning, then they are less engaged within the classroom and it is harder for them to understand the concepts. The curriculum is made so that it is the same for all students, yet students learn in so many different ways. And according to Michael W. Apple, a neutral curriculum is linked to a neutral system of accountability. These linkages guarantee rewards for merit. Good students will learn good knowledge and will get good jobs. Even if a curriculum is called neutral, it is always geared towards one type of student, and other students are given less of a chance. The curriculum should be adaptable and broad enough to fit the mold of each kind of student. If the curriculum is not made in this way, then students are not given a fair shot to succeed in the future. In conclusion, as a future teacher, the development of curriculum is something that I am very passionate about and something that I plan to be involved in later on. Curriculum should be to the benefit of all students at all times, and for this to happen, curriculum must be culturally relevant for each student so that they may express themselves. It must also be focused on developing critical thinking skills through practicing real life problems. And in addition, it must be adaptable to the learning style of each student to allow for individualized learning.